play begins with a huge storm, which is the title of the play, The Tempest. The storm is endangering a ship that is sailing back to Italy from the character Alonso's daughter's wedding in Africa. The other passengers include Antonio, Gonzalo, Sebastian, and Ferdinand. The storm has picked up and almost everyone has lost hope. The scene ends with the ship breaking apart and sinking. The next scene transfers to an island where the story is mostly going to be taking place. We meet Prospero, who is the king of the island, and Miranda, who is his daughter. We find that Prospero has some kind of magical powers, and he was the one who has started the storm. Prospero tells his daughter, who is crying over the sunken ship, not to worry since he has made sure they are all still alive, and then goes on to tell her about his past life as the Duke of Milan. We find out that his brother, Antonio, has stolen his title from him and has kicked him out of his home with his daughter and almost has him killed, and this starts his want for revenge against his brother. After this, we meet one of Prospero's servants, Ariel, who is a supernatural spirit. He is super loyal to Prospero, doing all of his tasks to hopefully get his freedom, but Prospero still keeps giving him tasks, promising that he will eventually give him his freedom. When Ariel starts to talk against him, he threatens him and brings up his horrible past as a servant to another woman, that he should be grateful to work for someone who treats him better, even though he is still treated badly. Ariel doesn't talk back to him again and accepts the next request from Prospero, which is to lure all of the men that had come here from the wrecked ship to him, but Ariel goes to bring Ferdinand first. Ariel has lured Ferdinand to where Prospero is, and this results in Ferdinand seeing Miranda. They instantly fall in love and want to get married. Prospero wants to test their love for each other, so he imprisons Ferdinand and makes him work for him. Ferdinand does this work knowing that all of it will be worth it in the end. This taps into the theme of love, which will later be discussed with the other themes near the end of this video. The other group of men, Alonso, Sebastian, Antonio, Gonzalo, Francisco, and Adrian, walk around the island in search of Ferdinand, who they think might be dead. Most of them start to get tired and fall asleep, all of them except Sebastian and Antonio. Both of the men plan on taking the opportunity of the other men being asleep to kill Alonso. Antonio tries to convince Sebastian of the idea by telling him that by killing Alonso, he would take Alonso's place as king, since they think that the heir of the throne, Ferdinand, is dead. These two and other two men, Trinculo and Stefano, who we meet later in the play, are both very power hungry and will even be willing to kill someone just to have power. It's a horrible characteristic, but as you can see from Hamlet, this is very common in many of his characters. So what did we expect? Sebastian agrees on this idea, but before they can actually do it, Ariel stops them by waking up the men with his song. They continue searching for Ferdinand.
In this next scene, Caliban runs into Trinculo and Stefano and sees them as better people and as a better master than Prospero is, so he offers himself as a servant to them. They agree, and Caliban tells them about how awful Prospero is and offers to lead them to kill him as he shows them around the island. Ariel finds out about this and distracts them by playing a song so the men will follow him, and then goes to inform Prospero about this plan. During this, Prospero has grown fond of Ferdinand and trusts him to be with his daughter. They have a little ceremony to celebrate the marriage between them, with Ariel and the other spirits there. However, it is cut short because Prospero needs to stop Caliban from attempting to kill him. His plan is to lay out clothes as bait for them to take, which Caliban knows is a trap and warns the other two, but they take the clothes anyways. After, they are chased away by the spirits and are ordered by Prospero to be put in prison. Ariel meets up with Prospero in order to talk about the prisoners. During their discussion, Ariel says that he would have felt pity for them if only he was human. This brings up another topic seen throughout the play: man versus monster. People can be human physically, however they can still be monsters mentally. This is seen with Prospero, with how he is a human physically, however mentally a monster, was seen the way he treats his servants, especially Caliban and Ariel. Likewise, someone can be seen as a monster physically, however actually be kind, loyal, and almost human-like. This is seen throughout the play with Ariel, who is a spirit, so he's not physically human and has been labeled as a monster by Prospero, even though he seems to be the most human-like mentally with his kindness, loyalty, and patience. And Ariel constantly puts others before himself. So it's interesting how he is always labeled as a monster, even though he does not deserve to be called one. During this discussion with Prospero, Ariel brings in Antonio, Sebastian, and Alonso, who are the men who caused all of his pain and misery for the last 12 years he has been on this island. Prospero forgives them reluctantly, and afterwards Alonso tells him about he has lost his son Ferdinand, which then Prospero reveals that his son is alive and with Miranda. Everyone is overjoyed, and later begin getting on the boat, which is now good as new, to sail off home to Naples, and Prospero will become the Duke of Milan again. Prospero gives Ariel one last task, to make sure that the boat has a safe trip back, and then he finally sets him free.
There's a few themes we should take into account when analyzing The Tempest and its significant meaning. Revenge. The entirety of the play is basically Prospero getting his revenge towards his brother in order to get his throne back and becoming the rightful Duke of Milan once again. Obviously, when one thinks revenge, we think of someone getting hurt due to their previous actions and giving them a taste of their own medicine. However, this is not the case in the story. The revenge Prospero achieves since the beginning might seem as over the top, especially with the issues involving the ship. It even makes him appear like the antagonist, but then it became more mature and understanding, until finally when they meet face to face and apologize for all the inconveniences he has caused him. It allows him to break the consistent cycle of violence that usually acts as the most common way to gain satisfaction of revenge. Colonization. When Trinculo and Stefano first were distinguishing Caliban, both of them had the same initial thought. It was to put Caliban up for display and earn money off of him. During this time when the play was written, the Americas were beginning to get colonized, and oftentimes people would bring back natives to put on display and earn money off of them for looking different. We believe Shakespeare put this in the play intentionally to make a connection on what was occurring during those times, and also in order to make a statement on this practice, which was completely inhumane and unorthodox. Love. Through the marriage of Ferdinand and Miranda, this is a symbolism of peace that will unite the opposing factions in hope of resolving any issues that occurred in the past. As the saying goes, love conquers all, which indeed does help release tensions throughout the royal party, and one of the contributing factors to Prospero's peaceful revenge. It allows Prospero and the King of Naples to receive closure and finally make amends.